November 28, 1942, Boston, Saturday night. The Cocoanut Grove nightclub is packed with 1,000 people celebrating, dancing, drinking. The most glamorous place in Boston. In 15 minutes, 492 of them will be dead, and every exit is locked. This is the story of the Cocoanut Grove fire, where a nightclub owner locked the doors to prevent theft, where 492 people burned, suffocated, or were crushed to death trying to escape, and where every modern fire safety law was written in blood. Let's start with the death trap itself. The Cocoanut Grove, the hottest nightclub in Boston, owned by Barney Welansky, a man with connections to Boston's political machine and organized crime. He ran the club with one priority: profit. The building was a maze, a main dining room, the Melody Lounge downstairs, the caricature bar, multiple rooms connected by narrow hallways and staircases, decorated with artificial palm trees, fabric ceiling drapes, flammable decorations everywhere. The club was designed for 460 people maximum. On November 28, 1942, over 1,000 people were packed inside. Welansky made sure of several things. The main entrance had revolving doors that he locked from the outside at night. People couldn't leave without paying their tabs. Emergency exits were bolted shut to prevent customers from sneaking out without paying. Windows were covered with metal bars. No sprinkler system. Too expensive. Fire extinguishers. A few, poorly maintained. Fire exits clearly marked? No. Welansky didn't want to ruin the atmosphere. November 28th was the Saturday after Thanksgiving. The nightclub was hosting multiple celebrations, a wedding party, military servicemen on leave before shipping out to World War II, Boston College football fans drowning their sorrows after a loss earlier that day. The Boston College football team had planned to celebrate there after their game. They cancelled when they lost. That cancellation saved every player's life. 10:15 p.m. The Melody Lounge downstairs is packed, dark, intimate, romantic. A 16-year-old busboy named Stanley Tomaszewski is changing a light bulb in a difficult-to-reach socket near the ceiling. It's too dark to see. He lights a match to find the socket. The match ignites an artificial palm tree above him. He tries to put it out. It spreads too fast. 10:16 p.m. The fire races across the fabric ceiling of the Melody Lounge. Not spreading, racing, faster than a person can run. The flames produce thick black smoke and deadly gases. People in the Melody Lounge panic immediately. They rush for the only stairway up to the main floor, a narrow staircase, hundreds of people trying to fit through at once. The smoke and heat are moving faster than the people. Many collapse on the stairs. Others climb over their bodies, desperate to escape. 10:17 p.m. The fire reaches the main dining room. The entire ceiling is fabric and paper decorations. It ignites instantly. The room becomes an inferno in seconds. The main dining room has hundreds of people. They all run for the main entrance at once. The revolving doors. The doors are locked from the outside. People crush against the doors. The pressure of the crowd behind them is unstoppable. Bodies pile up. People at the front are crushed to death against the doors by the weight of those behind, trying to escape. Some try to force the revolving doors. The mechanism jams completely under the pressure. Now nobody can get through. People remember emergency exits. They run to them. Every single one is bolted shut, deliberately, to prevent theft. They run to windows, covered with decorative metal bars, impossible to break through. The smoke is deadly. It's not just smoke from burning wood. It's toxic gas from burning plastic, fabric, varnish. People are breathing in poison. Some people drop dead from the fumes before the flames even reach them. Others suffocate in the crush of bodies. The fire burns oxygen from the air so fast that people simply stop breathing. 10:18 p.m. 3 minutes since the busboy lit the match. The entire nightclub is burning. Every room, every hallway. A few people escape. A cook smashes through a window in the kitchen. About 50 people escape through the hole before the flames make it impassable. A bartender finds a door that was improperly bolted and forces it open. A handful escape there. But most people are trapped. 10:20 p.m. Firefighters arrive. What they find is beyond comprehension. The entire building is engulfed, and they can hear screaming from inside. Hundreds of people still alive, trapped. Firefighters smash through the locked revolving doors. Bodies fall out, piled 6 deep. People who died crushed against doors trying to escape. They break down the bolted emergency exits. More bodies. People died pressed against doors that were deliberately locked. 10:30 p.m. 15 minutes after the busboy lit a match. The fire is under control. 492 people are dead. Many didn't burn. They suffocated in the toxic smoke. They were crushed in the stampede. They died of carbon monoxide poisoning. Some died pressed against locked doors, their hands still reaching for exits that would never open. The bodies are everywhere, piled at every attempted exit, stacked in hallways, collapsed at tables where they'd been celebrating moments before. Firefighters find couples still holding each other. The street outside becomes a morgue. Bodies lined up on the sidewalk. So many bodies that they run out of room. Nearby hospitals are overwhelmed. Massachusetts General Hospital receives 300 victims in less than an hour. Doctors perform emergency treatments in hallways, waiting rooms, anywhere there's space. Many survivors die in the following days from burns and smoke inhalation injuries. The final death toll, 492. The victims were everyone. Newlyweds celebrating their wedding. Servicemen on their last night before shipping out to war. College students. Families. The youngest victim was 16. Many were in their 20s. Buck Jones, a famous Hollywood cowboy actor, was there signing autographs. He died 2 days later from his injuries. The investigation began immediately. What happened was obvious. How it happened was obvious. Why 492 people died was obvious. Barney Welansky had created a death trap and filled it beyond capacity, locked the exits, used flammable decorations, no sprinklers, no fire safety measures. Welansky was arrested and charged with 19 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The trial was one of the biggest in Boston history. His defense? He didn't know the exits were locked. He didn't know the decorations were flammable. He wasn't there that night. The evidence was overwhelming. Employees testified he personally ordered exits bolted. Fire inspectors testified he'd been warned repeatedly. Survivors testified about the locked doors. The jury deliberated for 6 hours, guilty on all counts. Sentence, 12 to 15 years in prison. But here's where justice fails. Welansky served 3 years. 3 years for 492 deaths. His brother was a politically connected judge. In 1946, Welansky was granted early release due to poor health. He had cancer. He lived comfortably at home for another 4 years before dying in 1950. 3 years in prison for 492 people burned, crushed, and suffocated to death in his deliberately unsafe nightclub. But the Cocoanut Grove fire changed America in ways Welansky couldn't escape. Within months, Boston rewrote its fire codes, then Massachusetts, then cities across America. The changes were comprehensive, and they've saved countless lives since. Exit doors must open outward, push bars required. It's illegal to lock or block emergency exits during business hours. Maximum occupancy limits strictly enforced. Sprinkler systems mandatory. Flammable decorations banned. Illuminated exit signs required. Every single one of these regulations was written because of the Cocoanut Grove fire. The tragedy also revolutionized burn treatment. Massachusetts General Hospital developed new techniques for treating burns and smoke inhalation, that night out of desperate necessity. Those techniques became standard practice and have saved thousands of lives. Today, the site where the Cocoanut Grove stood is a parking lot. A small plaque marks the location. Most people walk past it without noticing, but the legacy is everywhere. Every time you walk into a bar, restaurant, theater, or nightclub, look for the exits. Notice they open outward. Notice they're clearly marked with illuminated signs. Notice they're never locked. That's the Cocoanut Grove. 492 people died, so that system exists. November 28, 1942. A busboy lit a match. 15 minutes later, 492 people were dead. Because a nightclub owner valued money over lives. Because exits were locked. Because profits mattered more than safety. Barney Welansky served 3 years. He walked free because of political connections. He died in comfort. The 492 victims never got that chance. But every clearly marked exit, every unlocked emergency door, every sprinkler system, every occupancy limit, every fire safety regulation in every public building in America, that's their memorial. That's how we remember them. 492 people. 15 minutes. And every exit was locked.